Good evening to you. Welcome. An investigation is underway tonight into the cause of a massive fire and explosion that lit up the sky over Medway early this morning. It happened on an industrial site at Hoo near Rochester. There are no reported casualties. Around 200 people were evacuated as a mushroom cloud of smoke and toxic fumes spread over homes and fell onto terrified boat owners living at Hoo Marina. Kit Bradshaw is live for us at the scene now. And Kit, hundreds of people woken by the first explosion at around 4 a.m.
That's right, this entire village rocked by that explosion. People living on the houseboats around half a mile away in Hoo Marina on the Medway told me that they were thrown from their beds. The explosion and the blast so violent that they thought another ship was crashing into their boat. In a moment, Tom Savides reports on how the emergency services responded to this complex and highly dangerous fire. But first, we hear from the eyewitnesses and local residents who were evacuated from their homes in the middle of the night. At dawn over Medway this morning, it was a fireball, not the sun, which lit up the sky. The sight and sound of this explosion felt for miles around. For those living just a few hundred yards away from the industrial estate in Hoo, it was a very unexpected wake-up call.
Well, we got woke up to an almighty bang, and I said to my husband, "What's that?" And he said, "Oh, I think there's been an explosion." And then we went into our hall and looked out the landing window, and just the engulfed flames. It was horrendous, black smoke, and you could see, we could hear, and then you could hear bangs, and obviously it was like gas canisters just firing up into the sky.
Despite the sky being turned orange by the flames, it wasn't loud enough to wake up everyone.
My husband stayed asleep.
I did, yes.
Yeah, and when I came downstairs, he was still asleep. And I couldn't believe that I could have actually slept through it because it was so loud. And it also lit up the room,
While some could stay put, hundreds were forced from their homes. Brenda and Dave only had time to grab their dressing gowns and took shelter in a local cafe, which opened up early to help.
It's quite frightening, really, wasn't it?
Oh, it was.
When
it
the
first went off, and then the
explosions,
explosion was really, really frightening.
and you can feel the heat.
Many came here to this emergency rest centre set up at the Hoo Village Institute, where all morning businesses, community groups and churches have been donating supplies to people who had to leave their homes in such a hurry.
The response has been very quick and it's been fantastic. We've had organisations like the Salvation Army who've come in with sleeping bags, with cups of tea.
This usually peaceful village has pulled together, with relief that it was just property, not people, that was damaged.
From the air you can see the intensity of the fire. A series of explosions flattens this factory as flames rip through this industrial estate. The blaze is so severe that dozens of firefighters, police officers and paramedics from across Kent are dispatched. When they arrive, they're met with an inferno.
The crews attended quite a severe fire when they arrived. There was a number of LPG, that's liquid petroleum gas, cylinders that were involved. Subsequently, one or two of them exploded. Therefore, the crews evacuated the area up to 200 metres around that site.
More than 50 firefighters were called to deal with this blaze, backed up by scores of police and ambulances. A huge response to a series of explosions which could have been devastating, but luckily no one was hurt. Little remains of the factory, which is just metres away from a busy marina. So what caused such an intense blaze? Kent Fire and Rescue Service says animal feed, aerosols and sanitisers are made in this unit. Eyewitnesses have described canisters flying into the sky.
At the height of the fire, we had over 10 appliances at the scene and a number of specials, including height vehicles and so on, including our specialist drone, which helps me as the incident commander to be able to calculate where we need to be placing what and how to effectively fight the fire.
The fire is now under control. Now the questions. What caused a series of explosions so close to so many homes and a marina full of boats? Tom Savides, ITV News, Hoo.
Extraordinary pictures. Back live now to Kit Bradshaw, who's at the scene of the fire. And Kit, a complex investigation now lies ahead.
That's right, and still a large emergency services presence here in Hoo at that industrial estate, and still flames actually visible from that unit where the blast started. But firefighters do have it well under control this evening. A lot of smoke, though, coming off that site. Still, we can taste it in the air, a chemically smell and taste in the air from that smoke. Someone who knows the industrial site very well is Mick Lippard. He's a local business owner. He's the managing director of First Call Plant Hire. Mick, do you know if any of your business has survived?
No, I don't, is the honest answer. This is the closest I've managed to get to our site all day, so no, I don't know until we actually see it. I haven't got a clue.
And you may be able to see some of the damage from our drone pictures, and we can see that the entire roof of that unit where the blast started has caved in, so really extensive damage there. 4:30 in the morning, Mick, what would this site have been like?
Well, there wouldn't have been anybody about, but a couple of hours later it would have been very busy, lots of people all over the place in all the units. 6:30, 7 o'clock, it would have been crazy.
So very, very lucky that this happened when it did and that there were no reported casualties. Mick, thank you for joining us. Still, investigators will have to wait before they can get into that building and piece through the wreckage to try to work out exactly what caused this blast, and local residents will have to probably wait many days yet for answers.
Kit Bradshaw, live at Hoo, many thanks, and of course much more on that on our late news.